What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Dave B. You're watching Dave B on TV, where we go beyond that everyday bullshit that people be consuming on a day-to-day basis. And today I want to talk about progress and in results. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like just I guess it's a bit of a motivational video, just because I know how it is when you're working on something and you're working towards a goal, and it's kind of hard to. Sometimes it gets difficult to kind of pat yourself on the back. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it gets hard. Sometimes you start to feel the struggle more than you need to. You know what I'm saying? Or I won't even say more than you need to, because everything has a purpose. So when we're going through the process of building something, you know what I'm saying, that hard work and that restriction or that tension that's built or that's created is all to prepare you for the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Life moves in progression. So a lot of us have big dreams and big goals, but a lot of times we don't take into account the actual steps that it'll take to actually get where we're going. And it's not until we are going through it that we're actually tested, aka our spirit is put into unfamiliar situations. You know what I'm saying? Our spirit is put into situations and circumstances that, excuse me, that we're unfamiliar with, or that, you know what I'm saying, and anytime we go through a period of unfamiliarity, it's always that's kind of like us in God mode, because it's us having to pull from the space of all possibilities in order to come up with a completely new and unique way of going about whatever situation we involved in at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And like, this kind of why people say the devil is in the details, because when you get too pressed on the details, when you start to plan too much for tomorrow, when you start to get too comfortable with the idea of something being there forever, you start to on one end you can start to take it for granted. On another end, the only thing constant is change. Things are always changing, even on a day-to-day basis. Like, you might go the same way to work every day, but there's always new things on the road going on. There's always new no day is the same. You know what I'm saying? You might have the same routine and pattern, but no day is the same. So it's kind of like an illusion you put on yourself when you start to get too fixated on something coming through tomorrow. And I know a lot of y'all, we entrepreneurs here. So when we do things, it's like a lot of times, like, you might have an idea. Say you working out a deal and you think you finna get some money from a client or something like that, right? You think you finna make a sale. So many times, I know y'all experienced it too, when maybe some money was promised to you, so you started to plan around that money. Like, okay, yeah, this person gonna send me money on Tuesday. Okay, that means Wednesday I'm gonna go ahead and buy this, that, and the third from Amazon and that. You know what I'm saying? But then Tuesday come around and what you thought was gonna happen didn't happen, right? So you already know off the bat, like, things change on the instant. You can try to predict things, but there is no real prediction. Like, when you start to get too I know for me at least, whenever I plan something, like, this is kind of my problem with schedules and things of that nature, right? Whenever I plan something, I see it fall right before my eyes. It's almost like, you know what I'm saying, no matter, like, that saying where it says, like, man plans, God laughs. It's like, we can try all we want to plan things for tomorrow, and sometimes, based upon how well we actually are familiar with our circumstance, sometimes we can plan certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things you can count on, but even in that confidence to count on something, that you got to always remember that things can be taken away just as much as you set it up to be consistent. Like, you know what I'm saying? People switch up on you. Like, relationships, you get too comfortable in a relationship, next thing you know, this person just gets a different idea one day, a different idea of what they want. And the better you can stay kind of fluid and not so fixated on something actually coming through, it's like the better you'll be able to manage the highs and lows, versus, you know what I'm saying, when because when we start talking about expectations and putting your expectations on certain things, and that's really what I'm talking about. When you expect certain things and those things don't come through, that downfall or that negative emotional response to that situation always be a lot more detrimental, especially depending on how much energy you put into that expectation, and um, how fixated you got on that result. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, let's talk more about all possibilities. When we have plans and goals and we get too fixated on a certain outcome, that also creates a lot of more resistance because now we're not able to flow with the universe. Like, we're not able to co-create with the universe. Instead, we're trying to take on that role. And, just the truth of the matter is, yeah, we're very powerful beings. We're powerful spirits, but we don't want the responsibilities of trying to be the you know what I'm saying, we don't really want the responsibilities. We think we want to be able to be in control of every single thing, and we think we want to be able to have all possibilities in our grasp. Or you know what I'm saying, like it's like we do have all possibilities, but it's like it's a different approach to it. This is like when you start to travel too far into the God complex, and now you think that you are God, and you start to put these labels on yourself, right? Not knowing the responsibility that actually comes with these titles. And the fact of the matter is, you just don't have the capacity to really be God. So, before you walk around thinking that, before you develop a God complex about yourself and you think that you are this all powerful being, understand that sometimes it feels good to allow life to knock you on your ass. Sometimes getting sat down on your ass is just what you needed in order to readjust your thinking or your mentality so that you can start to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Taking on certain responsibilities that aren't yours, that always leads to downfall. This is like adultery, you know what I'm saying? Real adultery, where you're marrying someone else's problems or you're taking on the responsibilities of a being that's not yours, you know what I'm saying? AKA you starting to take their mentalities. And a lot of times a lot of people do this subconsciously or on accident, just based upon titles and like getting wrapped up in titles. Like a lot of people like to call themselves things. A lot of people, we live in a world that everything is about your first and last name. You know what I'm saying? So people take names and labels seriously, but really names and labels can be detrimental to your spirit because your spirit is no thing. So when you attach a bunch of labels to yourself, right, whether it's you claiming to be something or you following a group of other individuals that and they're claiming that y'all are something that you're not, this is where you start to get hit with the responsibilities and the just the feelings and emotions that whatever being that you're trying to claim to be or associating yourself with, you start to put those responsibilities on yourself. And if that's not actually authentic to your spirit, you're going to start to manifest situations and circumstances that you can't necessarily handle. And that's when, you know what I'm saying, that's when you start to get outweighed. Certain things start happening in your life that are very dramatic and very catastrophic, and you don't really know why. It's because you might have to check what you're starting to associate yourself with. And this is why I don't subscribe to any label, even though, you know what I'm saying, we always talk like, y'all hear me all the time. I'll be talking about soul group and things of that nature. Like soul group, you know what I'm saying, y'all know what it is, right? But like at the end of the day, like we gotta remember we are individuals. And even though, it's cool to be associated with things, we gotta be careful because just because it's like you associate yourself with a group, you got to understand, you start to take on, depending on who all is involved in that group, you take on you take on small responsibilities for their like for them being associated. You take on small inklings. Everyone who's connected to that thing, slowly but surely, y'all energy is all being exchanged. And so, it's always good to have a refresher or some kind of buffer system where, internally you can always find your own space away from whatever it is that claiming or whatever you're associating yourself with, you know what I'm saying? And like this goes for all labels, all groups of people, all, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're trying to, because we live in a world where we're forced to, we're not forced to, but we live in a world where we're supposed to relate. We're supposed to connect. We're supposed to grow and expand with other individuals and stuff like that and exchange ideas, currency, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to man, he changed his name so many times, bro. Like, yo, shout out to you, bro. Like, you know who you are, bro. Yo, 7. That's all I'm gonna say, 7, because we were just talking real briefly about energy exchange and things of that nature, and basically just the idea of it is like the real energy exchange, away from actual physical money, is like, we all have individual talents and gifts, and the true energy exchange is being able to contribute to another individual with what it is that you do best, and y'all build from that. You know what I'm saying? The whole money concept stemmed off of just individuals exchanging energy, aka I know how to do this, you know how to do that. Let's come together and we can build off of that. You know what I'm saying? But we've gotten as a society, due to certain programs and things of that nature, we've gotten farther away from understanding um, exchange like that. You know what I'm saying? So things get a little iffy now, like you know what I'm saying, just because of um, but I don't want to get too deep into that. But y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? When we start talking about capitalism and things of that nature, and it's not about trying to demonize capitalism or anything, but it's to point out that things were done a different way, and that the ways that society has adopted and claimed as the norm isn't really normal. You know what I'm saying? And then we these ways have just manipulated us and force us to kind of look at the world in a different way, to where now energy exchange has turned into it's been pretty much doused in greed, you know what I'm saying? So now people have greedy, ulterior motives when it comes to energy exchange, and they only looking to get the biggest cut of whether it be physical money, you know what I'm saying, or take advantage of someone else's skill or God-given talent in order to boost their profits. You know what I'm saying? It becomes more of a profit thing. Before it was more about building, and I don't even want to get too fixated on saying before and getting fixated on the past, because really, like, we got to stop looking at the past as something that's to be, like some golden age. I feel like the past definitely has different, we start talking about ancestors and past lives, and these things are important, but the present is always the most important. The past is always used as a reference, you know what I'm saying? A reference of how things were and how we can improve things in the present. But the past shouldn't be anything, when it comes to heavy nostalgia, the past starts to become this fantasy land, and we start to wanting to go further in the past. But that manifests into us actually going through situations that we felt like almost situations that hold us back. You know what I'm saying? We always, like I said, everything is a progression. So the past is meant to be built on, not meant to be returned to. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, people think of old, let's go back to a simpler time. It's like it's a simpler time because of where we are now and looking back. But at that time, things were probably just as turbulent as they are now, just with different facets of life or in different ways and different accents. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't technology to the degree as it was now, but there was still certain things being, spread upon the masses, certain psychological tricks and things of that nature, certain things dealing with information and things of that nature back then. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop having this rose tinted glasses about the past and things of that nature and getting wrapped up into what could have been and things of that. Look, the only thing that's real is the present right now. You know what I'm saying? And so and then so we gotta shift the focus. But kind of far off the topics. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about results, you know what I'm saying? So when you're going about your path, right, and things of that nature, let's talk about analytics. So a lot of these apps today have a function on them where you can look at the analytics and things of that nature, right? So what is actually the purpose of analytics? Well, you know what I'm saying? This is like the Virgo energy. So it's kind of a perfect time to talk about it as we enter Pisces, because like I like to look at things from a balanced perspective. I like to look at both ends of the stick so that I know what scale to put certain concepts on. You know what I'm saying? Just it's good to have an idea of the full spectrum so you know that you can start to be more precise on where you want to land between the two. So when we talk about Pisces, the realm of dreams, imagination, things that don't require time, things that deal with your emotions and feelings and deal with the vibration of things, rather the meaning and reasoning rather than the actual pinpointed data. And then we have Virgo, which is the pinpointed data, the details, the what makes sense out of certain things, how to the day-to-day processes that go into the dream. You know what I'm saying? The actual what is it? The scheduling system of working. You know what I'm saying? Work routine, all those different things, and even health. You know what I'm saying? These the two the dichotomy between the two. So results are very much a Virgo thing. So in a sense, it's like this is how it kind of flows, right? You create something, you put it out, and then the results tell you what works and what doesn't work. So the analytics on your phone and on these apps, right? Social media apps, whether it be Instagram or Twitter, these things show you a bunch of different information about who's engaging with your content and who's the demographic of who's interacting with your content, the time stamps of who's interacting with you, or when people, you know, are interacting with your content, and different things that tell you, basically give you an idea of how effective or not effective whatever it is that you're doing. And it gives hints as to the right times to do certain things and the wrong times to do certain things, right? Now, we know there's no right or wrong. And when it comes to our careers and us actually participating in the world, we always have to have a balance between being spiritual, right? Because everything is spiritual, right? And we are on our spiritual path, but at the same time, we have to be, we have to find ways to coincide and co-create with reality. We have to find a way to make a living with what we have to offer. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's two ways to do it. You can either do it the lost way, aka you just go around following what everybody else did and trying to run and chase the bag. You know what I'm saying? Or you can start to become you can take the spiritual way, right, where you're now understanding that, okay, well, I already have gifts. I'm already wealthy. I just have to find a way to transmute this internal wealth into something that I can express and externalize. And so as that externalization happens and people start to see what it is that you actually do, they start to get inspired. And then as you put value into whatever it is that you do from your core, from your internal world, whatever is reflected, whatever you give off, this becomes, people start to get enticed by it and want to actually buy into it. And so this is how you start to convince people that you actually have something worthy of whatever currency is available. So, you know, this is kind of a fine line where, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why I say one way is the more difficult way, or what I want to say the wrong way. There's no right or wrong. You got to do what you got to do. Sometimes we got to take that job at McDonald's just so that we can feed ourselves or feed our kids or feed our family, whatever we got to do. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, we always have the power in our hands to jump. Even if you are working that job, you can still tap into your spiritual natures and start to, it's like you just being in that space, you'll start to come up with the right ideas. And before you know it, you'll turn what you're doing at that job, aka flipping burgers. You'll say, oh, well, I know how to flip burgers real good now. And you can turn that into something. And then next thing you know, you done manifested you having your own restaurant. And so now you've found that internal piece of yourself that you can externalize in order to get in order to get what you need and want, right? And you're not gonna get what you need and want, you're just gonna get what you deserve. But because you put that value into what you believed in, you automatically created a situation for the universe to now say, oh, let's co-create. And it co-created a scenario in which now, oh, boom, I can do what I actually enjoy to do, or with that which isn't very hard for me to do, but I enjoy and I get a equal amount of challenge. You found a way to make that work for you, and now you bring things to you. So, you know, a lot of us get fixated. So let's talk about analytics again. A lot of us get fixated on results, and so we live in a very instant gratification society. We know this, you know what I'm saying? This is not nothing new, and it's only getting worse and worse, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I find myself getting impatient the second the internet connection doesn't work or the Wi-Fi drops out and things of that nature. I mean, and if we're not careful, you know, these quick little inconveniences, especially during the retrograde. Y'all know this retrograde. I ain't gonna lie. This retrograde been doing a lot of little bitch ass shit. You know what I'm saying? The little things to piss you off. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make sure that you managing yourself so you don't let it go to that length. And that's what I mean. It's like these little inconveniences and hiccups, and especially now where you see that the government is trying to, or not even just the government, but well, it is the government because they doing certain bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know how it goes, right? But everything is being forced onto this new online system, computerized things. You know, now everything is about, like, DoorDash and Uber Eats. Everything is about delivery and being at home and trying to do everything online. But we're doing everything online, but the internet itself sometimes just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where doing things more the analog way or doing things more the in-person way becomes more efficient, because sometimes there's just certain things you try to do online that you just can't do. Sometimes technology just don't fuck with you, and that shit is very infuriating. It can be very frustrated, and you got to be careful not to let those frustrations get to you and start to manifest more, you know what I'm saying, more negativity for you. So it's all the balancing act. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, like that's kind of the dilemma we in. But we live in a very instant gratification society, so you got to understand that, you know, when it comes to manifesting, right, and it's beyond. It's like I'm getting kind of tired of the word manifesting because a lot of people have it's starting to get that baggage, you know, the same baggage astrology's got, where people just throw it out and don't actually know the true meaning of what it means, and don't now the concept I'm trying to give off is being clouded by misconceptions. But really, like, what it is whatever we're trying to build, right? Whatever it is that we're putting in place, whether it be your dream or whatever it is, your goal, right? Whatever you're building towards, it's gonna take time. We all know that it's gonna take time. We have to kind of reprogram ourselves to not be so fixated on instant results. You got to understand that things take time to actually calculate, and that's the thing that Virgo is here to teach us as we, you know, participate in our dreams. It's like Virgo is here to teach us that, yo, everything takes a progression. Everything is gonna take a day-to-day process. Everything is gonna take time, and that time is what yields the results. You know what I'm saying? When we even talk about results in general, this is all earth sign shit. Capricorn included, Taurus included. All earth signs have this slow, steady pace to them. And from that slow, steady, because see, on the Taurus end of analytics, it's the consistency. So the consistency in over time, a long span of time, I'll say, because you know, being the fixed earth, it's like this is more like over a long span of time. So over the course of maybe a month or 6 months or a year, you get to see different kind of results than you do on a day to day. The long term results of something be what has materialized from whatever that you choose to do. So whether it is that you have a YouTube channel, right, there's going to be a climb to a certain subscriber count. And based upon how consistent you are with your content over the course of a month or 6 months or a year, however long you want to do it, but a longer period of time, you'll start to see what's working and what's not working. And as you read the analytics, it's like basically first of all, you gotta allow time for that to happen, and you have to commit to a certain thing that you want to actually test out. And so as you commit to whatever it is that you do and you start to calculate these results, these let you know the long-term situations and how you can start to, you know, basically how you look at these results. It's like you want to be able to look at these things, and it's like you have to, well, I'll get to that in a second. Let's just talk about, so the Taurus is more like the long-term results, right? Then Virgo is more like the day-to-day results. So this is like the little things you do, like when you drop a post and how many people engage with it, and you know what I'm saying, based upon, like I was talking about in the beginning, where you see the different times that people be online and the times that your people don't be online, and see the difference, right? You can put a post out at this time and see, okay, who's clicking on it in that instant, or put it out at the other time and do that calculation like that, right? Or this is like, you know, basically everything you get on the day-to-day, the weekly results and things of that nature. And then finally with Capricorn is like the initiator of a new way. So Capricorn is really like taking both of this information and changing something, changing the way something is structured to fit the right analytics, to fit the right, to get the right, to yield a different result. You know what I'm saying? Because and this is kind of where the point of the video kind of comes together. It's like, you know, when you're looking at analytics, right? It's like you have to. We look at everything as tools. So you might be an individual who doesn't even know that Instagram has analytics. But this is just how analytics and results can be helpful, right? On a technical aspect first, right? So on a technical aspect, you can actually see the results of your content and what you're putting out. But on a spiritual aspect, this is all about, like, there's another thing going on where on a spiritual level, there's analytics going on, aka when you do certain things, the certain results that get manifested from that, aka you know that whenever you come in the house, right, your dog starts to act crazy, your dog gets really hyper. This leads to you getting frustrated, and so you may yell at your dog, right? What manifests from that? what results actually yield from that? Do you be more frustrated throughout your day, or do you like little shit like that? Like you can start to take this technical external shit and apply it to internal shit, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Where when you start talking about keeping track of your state of being and when you're just participating in life in general, start to actually take account to certain things that manifest from negative emotions and feelings, negative mentalities, and the different things that manifest from other mentality. And really, I say negative ones because the negative ones be a lot of times the ones that we overlook but overthink about. It's like we overlook it in the moment, but we do something and internally we know we made a mistake. So we sit and spend the rest of the day thinking back and like, was that a mistake? Did I mess up like that, or did I go about that situation the wrong way? And during that process, that's you calculating different results, but don't get lost in just thinking about what you did. Start to just experience life, continue to experience life and see what's manifested from that. Because sometimes we do have to do negative actions in order to get positive results. Sometimes we do got to fight fire with fire. Sometimes we do got to jump into a lower vibration in order to get our point across. But understanding the results and what manifests from that, and even being too nice. You can be too nice, too passive, too relatable, too harmonious. What manifests from that? What do you actually see from that? And this helps us become better magicians, aka we can start to see what's working for us and what's not working for us, and what actually can, and also having the awareness to start to make corrections in the little things, because that's really the purpose of results, and that's what this video is about. The purpose of results. The purpose of a result is not to have some kind of status symbol or have some kind of it's not even to have some kind of pride about it. It really, the meaning of results is so you just understand where you at. And so results on an external level become, like analytics of your content, but results on an internal level, on an esoteric level, is like, these are, so I know how to move in the world. So these are better ways to move around the world and better ways to actually understand the situations I manifested for myself. So this is just kind of concepts to keep in mind and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this was helpful. I know, like, sometimes I'll be traveling, you know what I'm saying, trying to get to a specific point. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing for y'all and things of that nature. So, but this is something to consider about results. So when you're looking at results, right? And this is also helpful to get you out of your own illusions, because this is and this is, I'm glad, because a lot of times people will create a self-delusion for themselves, and they'll create this concept in which they think that they're winning or doing something positive. But it's important to not get too caught up in what others think about you and your situation, but how others react and respond to you and how others interact with you is a good way to gauge how your energy either comes off, or if what you're doing is actually in the right frequency vibration. Because sometimes we adopt certain ways of expressing ourselves that might be actually not fitting to our character. And this a lot of times come with certain inconjunctions or oppositions or squares or negative alignments between our sun, ascendant, our moon. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, or really anything, really, like a lot of times our Mercury, maybe even our Mars, but it can play out in any planet, really. But specifically maybe with our sun sign, because it's like our actions and what we show. So sometimes misalignments, you know what I'm saying? But it kind of gets a little crazy, because any misalignment can create certain situations where when you express yourself, it comes off weird. People get thrown off guard, you know what I'm saying? And it's important to be aware of how you put off your energy so that you can get the results and analytics of that situation and learn different tricks to change. And basically, it's like changing yourself in a way in which now it's like not changing yourself to where now you're not being yourself, but it's changing yourself in a way you can yield a better result for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's more, because it's not really about other people. It's about you yielding a better result for yourself. AKA, you might express yourself in a certain way that always rubs people the wrong way. It's not about not being yourself, but it's about looking at the situation and saying, okay, well, how can I manipulate my own energy in order to where this just be like it's all it's a balance thing because I don't want to tell you you got to change yourself for other people. It's not about that, but it's just like it's on an internal level because sometimes you might not be okay with how people react or respond to your harshness. So you sit there and frustrate yourself trying to figure out how you can relate better, right? Why you ain't never got nobody in your corner, why nobody ever understand what you saying. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can develop ideas that's like, man, fuck the world. I just do things in my way. And that's how you should be. But at the same time, like I said in the beginning, we here to relate in a way. And we all want to be understood. We all want to be felt. We all want to be connected. We all want that internally, no matter how many Aries placements you got, no matter how hard you think you are, no matter how like distant you think you want to be. We all want to have at least somebody in our corner, or at least one speck of energy or something in our corner to relate to and feel comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, we get lost in our own world, and that's never fun. You know what I'm saying? So, all these different things are just tools that we can use to help ourselves manifest things, and like I said, be better magicians, finding better ways to have the things that we want and need come to us in a way that we deserve it, not in a way where we're always chasing it and we feel undeserving. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I hope this was helpful, and just kind of keep that in mind. So results go past just physical shit. Start to pinpoint and calculate different results based upon how you put yourself out in the world, and these things, these different answers that you come to, right? Because you can kind of incorporate this with your meditation. Meditation is to clear out everything and have clairvoyance. So you're not here to ponder that, but when you are ready to ponder on something, right? And that's just kind of you want to, it's like you can ponder upon results, but don't get too fixated on things. You want to add fluidity to whenever you're thinking of results, so that you have that balance of that Pisces energy, so that you don't fall too far into the Virgo concept of overthinking and now worrying about how you're coming across and what works and what's not working. No, you don't want to worry. So whenever you're in your meditative state, right, meditate first. Go ahead and create clairvoyance, not block out all thoughts and feelings. You know what I'm saying? Just be clear, right? And then after you're finished meditating, you can go back and be like, all right, let's start to just ponder about how I'm going about things and how I can improve. And so you start to let the thoughts and ideas slowly come in of how you put yourself out in the world and certain reactions and responses that you got. And as you see these different reactions and responses, it's like, okay, that worked, that didn't work. Okay, move on. Don't get too fixated on trying to change something from the past. No, just let it flow and let it go. Let it flow in, let it go. And as and what's going to happen is you still want to keep that clairvoyant space, right? You're going to have clarity on different things that work and different things that aren't work. And then as you kind of dance between these spaces, as you have to let go, because if you don't let go, you won't have enough space to start to come up with new ideas on how to improve. And that's the whole point of it all, to improve, not to get stuck in the past. So, allow things to flow and let go of them. And then slowly but surely, you're going to start seeing different ways in which you can add different things to what you're doing. And now, okay, boom, okay, I can initiate this, I can initiate that. Okay, cool. And then now you can start to write certain ideas down. And now you're really building. But you're doing it, and that's kind of why Capricorn, even though, see, Capricorn is interesting. It's kind of like how Aquarius is fixed air, where it's a fixed element, but it's in air sign, which isn't physical. It isn't material. I feel that same way about Capricorn, where Capricorn isn't actually, Capricorn is like, it's an earth element, but it's actually the least dense of the earth elements. So it's like more about, like, we always refer to Capricorn as the blueprint. It's like almost the ideas that inspired the actual building to be built. And then we go into Taurus, which is the actual fixated building. And then we go into Virgo, which is the actual many details that calculated and the work that went into actually putting this shit in place. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? I just look at Capricorn as like more that air-like earth. You know what I'm saying? Where it's more like movement. It's more movement involved than the other earth signs. Not so much Virgo, because Virgo is still mutable, so it's still the most mobile. But you know what I'm saying, just with Capricorn, for some reason it makes me think more so of like the air. You know what I'm saying? It has an air quality to it for some reason. Yeah, but or the actual act of building, you know what I'm saying, swinging the hammer, that air, that the force and the inertia that caused the hammer to strike, you know what I'm saying, that pushed the hammer to hit that specific nail. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Well, I do know, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know. I'm just speaking. You know what I'm saying? We just going with it. But yeah, for the most part, I think that's about it. You know what I'm saying? So using those results to your favor. You know what I'm saying? And not get lost in results and stuck into the instant gratification. And now you're sitting here wondering why certain things aren't manifesting. And it's like you just haven't given it enough time, or you haven't been aware of the ways in which you can start to adjust your ways of going about certain things. Because we all, like I said, the only thing constant is change. And so every day is a new situation we're presented with, in which we got to figure it out. We got to figure that shit out. We got to figure out what to do. So, just keep that in mind as you build. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I got all the points, and sometimes I be forgetting stuff. Um, so we talk about results. We talk about vertical energy. We talked about Capricorn and Taurus. We talked about, yeah. So yeah, these are just things to keep in mind. So much love, and if you're interested in getting a creative consultation, which is basically a natal reading, but geared towards understanding your earth houses and also kind of aligning with your spiritual path so that you can start to build yourself a career that's more efficient to what you're doing, or if you're already working, finding ways in which you can use whatever you're currently working at, wherever you're working, whether you got a 9 to 5 or whether you just an entrepreneur and got your own business, finding ways in which you can start to reorganize that to make it work for you, to manifest more things to go in your favor. So now when you're actually participating in the world, building whatever you're building, you can make a living, but that way in which you make a living can coincide with actually contributing to your spiritual path and growth. You know what I'm saying? So that you don't have to feel like, damn, my work is taken away from my spirituality, or my spirituality is taken away from my work. I can't balance the two. So, you know what I'm saying, that's what the creative consultation is for. You know what I'm saying? Talking about business, but also talking about your natural energy, so you know how to actually go about building whatever it is that you're trying to build. You know what I'm saying? So let me know. You can email me at davebeyond95@gmail.com, or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram, on Twitter at davebeyondtv. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Much love and power to you.